Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube live session of Great Learning. So I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. As you can see, today's session we are going to discuss about AngularJS. We are going to see what is the introduction of basic concepts used in AngularJS. So uh, before starting the session, I'll tell you that this session is mostly for beginners or freshers who already know something about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, we will talk about it in more detail, but before that, I should actually take a confirmation from you guys whether you can hear me or you can see the screen. Okay, so please quickly guys give me a confirmation if you guys can hear me and you can see the screen. Give me a yes. Just write yes in the comment so that I can be confirmed. Hi Sadin, hi teen gamers. Please give me a confirmation. Till then, the time being you are giving me confirmation, I must tell you about the free initiative by Great Learning, which is Great Learning Academy. So those are very frequent to our channel. You must be knowing that what is this Great Learning Academy. But those who are not very frequent and you are new to this channel, please have a look. So in Google, you just have to type Great Learning Academy, and when you scroll down, you will find an ample amount of courses in different domains. So you can see you have courses in data science. You can see these all courses. And then you have in machine learning, in artificial intelligence, in IT and software. And these all courses are for free. That means you have to just enroll, complete the videos, and get a free certificate. And this is also there in Hindi. So if you're very comfortable in learning in Hindi, then we have courses in Hindi as well. You can see Python programming in Hindi, Java programming in Hindi, and many more as such. Okay, so quickly you guys can go to this Great Learning Academy website and just enroll for some of the courses which you want to learn, and get the free certificate, put it in your LinkedIn or your resumes, and get the job. Correct? Okay. Also, one more thing I want to say that you will get all the upcoming live sessions details here. So you can see you have tomorrow session, and then tomorrow evening also you have one session on Android app development. So have a look what all sessions are coming up in the next weeks and all. Now let me quickly move to our today's live session, what we are going to discuss, right? Before moving into the agenda, as I can see, many of you have said that everything is clear. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for the reply. Now, let's begin with the agenda and let's see what all things we are going to learn in this particular session. Now, very first thing which we are going to see is the prerequisites. That means, those things which you should know before learning AngularJS. So in prerequisites, we will see that what all things we need to know before moving into AngularJS. Okay, remember that it is AngularJS, guys. It is not Angular 2 or 11 or 10 or 7. This is AngularJS. There's a lot of difference between AngularJS and all the other Angular version frameworks. Okay. Now, second topic, we are going to see what are SPAs. That means what is single page application. So we are going to discuss that what is the meaning of single page application, because we can just open any web page and just scroll through it, right? We don't really bother about which kind of web page is it. So I'm going to tell you which web page is better and what is SPAs. Okay. Next, we are going to look upon introduction to AngularJS. That means I'm going to introduce you what is AngularJS framework and why do we use it. Next, we are going to see features. Then we are going to see MVC architecture, which is a very important topic, the model view and controller. We are going to understand what is this MVC concept in Angular and why is it so famous. We will be using a real world example, a very easy example to make you understand what is it. Obviously, the next thing, if you're not doing a practical demonstration, then you will not understand anything. So we need an environmental setup. We will see how this Angular app is starting, and what all programs do we write in Angular so that we can create our application. Those things we will see in environmental setup. Angular app fundamentals, very important topic in this agenda, the whole agenda. So stick to the video till the end so that you can understand what is this fundamentals of Angular application. And then what all companies are using AngularJS and the advantage. So we'll end this session by discussing about the advantages of AngularJS. I hope the content is really descriptive. I hope you'll enjoy this live session. So let's begin with the first topic in the agenda, which is prerequisites. Okay, now you guys can also comment for any doubts or any live session which you want us to do. So you can please put it in the comment box, and our team will look into it, and we will surely come up with those videos. So quickly drop it down in the comments, and I will read those comments. Coming to the prerequisites, what are things we need to know before learning AngularJS? Very first thing is HTML. So if you guys you guys have learned in 10th or 8th class, like what is HTML, hypertext markup language. It is used to design the web page, right? To give the structure to the web page. Now, if you consider any web page, like if I talk about this Great Learning Academy, this web page is also having a structure. You can see this logo is here. Then you have these navigation bars are there, right? And then you have these cards of upcoming live sessions. These are called as cards. So these are nothing but the structure of a web page, which we do it using HTML. HTML full form is hypertext markup language. You have to know some little bit things about HTML before learning Angular. Okay, so you need to learn about the tags like h1 tag, paragraph tag, how to give a hyperlink, how to provide an image, how to provide an audio or a video. These things are very necessary to understand when you're learning HTML. Okay, so this is basically for designing and structuring. Okay, next is CSS. CSS is cascading style sheet. Now, before telling me what is CSS, remember that HTML is not a programming language. It's a markup language. Okay. We do not consider it as a programming language because it doesn't have those concepts which is there in Java, Python, or those stuffs. It is just used to design the web page. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. In CSS, it is used to style the web page. Now, what is the meaning of styling? Have a look at this Great Learning Academy web page. If you see here, you can see a lot of colors here, right? This button is having a blue color to make it attractive. And when you're scrolling down, you can see the web page in total, it's looking really very attractive, right? You can't say that this is not a complete web page because everything is in proper place. Everything is very structured, right? These all things are happening because of CSS. To make your web page attractive and user friendly, we use cascading style sheet. Okay, so there are colors, there are borders, margin, paddings. There are a lot of things which is there in CSS which you can use to provide this style to the web page. Okay, as you can see, it is adding style and color to the web page, right? Next, and the most important prerequisite for Angular, this is JS, which is JavaScript. Okay, now why am I saying this is the most important? Because it is a programming language. As I said, HTML, CSS, it's not a programming language. Those are markup and style sheet. But when you talk about JS, which is JavaScript, it's a programming language. That means it works as a front end also and back end also. So this is mostly used for behavior purpose. Now, what is behavior? I'll tell you. I'll give you an example. Let me take you to Great Learning Academy and suppose, see, I'm already logged in here. But when you will go into this web page, you have to log in here, right? You have to write your username or password and you have to log in. Once you click on login, what happens? Your profile page comes up, right? How? Is there a person behind that is saying that, okay, now user is clicking on login and I should give the profile? No, right? That's not the case. It's happening automatically. How? Because of programming, because of backend programming. And that is what is JavaScript. So when you click anything, let's suppose I click on this select course. When I click on this select course, something happened, right? When I click on this Python programming in Hindi, something happens, right? These events or these something happen which I'm saying, these are nothing but your JavaScript, your behavior, because whenever I am clicking on something, it is behaving, right? So this is your JavaScript. This is where JavaScript is used for. Now, this is why it is very important, because in a web page, if you had don't if you have not given any links to click on, then web page is of not any use, right? It is of no use. So you should give the links, and when you're clicking on those links, something should happen. That is what is really very important. That is why JavaScript is also important. So it adds behavior and interactivity to the web page. That means pages can talk to each other. Like when you click on this, it will open that, right? Now, the next topic, which is what are SPS. Before moving into this topic, let me see some comments. Guys, I can see a very less comments. Please keep on putting some comments. Put whatever topics you want to come up with. You want us to come up with, like in testing or in any domain. Just put it down. Okay, so Sumit Patel, hi. You are asking any course available for testing. In Greatling Academy, if you go, we have courses in testing. So please go and have a look. You can search for it. Then why do we use AngularJS? Python CSC is asking. I know I don't know your real name, but why do we use AngularJS? You will get to know in this particular live session itself. So just stick for till the end of this session. You'll understand why do we use it. Actually, this is the topic where we are going to discuss why do we use Angular, what are SPAs. Okay. Okay, perfect. What is AngularJS? Yes, stick to the session. I'll tell you now. So the very important basic thing, what are SPAs? What is single page application? This you need to understand. To make you understand this, I have created this kind of explanation. So let me explain you how this works. Don't look at any of these slides, whatever is written here. Just understand what I'm saying. Now, if you look into any of the normal web pages like Amazon or Myntra, what happens? So if you open Amazon, let me take you to Amazon and let's see what happens. So this is amazon.com, okay? And you can see a lot of links are here, right? Now, suppose I want to shop for something. I want to shop for electronics. When I click on it, when I click on accessories and supplies, you can see this page is loading. This page is loading here. Yes, you can see. Now, why this is loading? Because the whole page request is going to the server and coming back. Okay. Like whenever you click on amazon.com, obviously this request goes to the server and comes back. That is why you're getting this page, right? It's as easy as that. Sorry. Same thing happens here. So when you're clicking on accessories and supplies, the whole web page request goes to the server and comes back. See, if I click on camera and photo accessories, same thing is happening. The whole page is getting loaded, right? Correct? Now, this is what is called as multi-web page. That means it is multi-page application, because whenever you're clicking something, that whole page request is going to the server and coming back. Now I'll give you one example, which is single page application, which is nothing but your YouTube. Now if you look into your YouTube, what is happening here? So you have some links here, right? Now you remember in Amazon what I was doing. When I was clicking on something, this page was getting loaded, right? But have a look here. When I click on trending, is my web page getting loaded? No. Internally something is getting loaded. Internally something is happening, right? You can see internally something is happening. Now what is this? So basically the whole web page request is not going. The whole web page request is not going to the server. Only that particular data request is going to the server. That means if I want trending data, then only trending data request will go to the server and come back, right? The whole page request is not going. This is what is single page application, because youtube.com is a single page application. Whenever you're clicking on anything, it is inside it. So inside single page, you have different modules or components. Okay. Best example for multiple web page application is what? It's Amazon.com or Myntra.com, take any. And best example for single page application is Gmail, YouTube, right? These things. In Gmail also you can see when you click on inbox, does your whole web page reloads? No, right? It doesn't. Now, let's talk about multiple page request. Sorry. So there's a client and there's a server. Now, if you're requesting for the www.amazon.com, what happens? The page request will go to the server and that will come back. Now, if you're requesting for a page X, let's say that if you're requesting for a electronics, then again the request page goes and response comes back, the whole page request. Same thing if you're searching in a in the box search box, if you're searching for an item, again the page request will go to server and come back. What is happening here? Multiple page requests sent to server every time we click. Client page getting loaded again and again. Hence, such pages are low on speed. Right? I hope you got these 3 points. I've already explained in a very simple terms, right? Now, let's talk about what is single page application. When you're requesting for www.gmail.com or www.youtube.com, what happens? So basically, the entire app application package goes to the server and the response comes back. So the whole page doesn't have to go to the server and come back. No. When you're requesting for anything like trending or subscriptions or anything in YouTube or Gmail, only the request for data goes to the server and comes back as a response, right? So the whole web page request is not going, only the data request is going. This is where SPAs or single page applications are really good for use. Single request sent to server to load the whole application. Multiple data requests going to the server, not page. Multiple data requests are going, not the page request. In multiple page application, multiple pages were going. Client page does not get loaded again and again, right? So these are the points which is making your web page very efficient when you're using single page application. Now the point is why I'm teaching you this single page application, right? Let's see. Somebody asked me, sir, what is AngularJS? Here is the answer for you. So introduction to AngularJS, why AngularJS, okay? The question is, just now we have learned SPAs, single page application. Now, if you know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, can you create a single page application? No, it is not possible. That is what is the question here. Is JS ideal for SPAs? No, only JS is not ideal for SPAs. We have variety of frameworks and libraries instead which will make it possible for JS to create SPAs. So the main motive of Angular or Angular framework is to create single page applications. Okay, because it is more easy to use, right? And it is not actually loading my web page again and again. So if you know HTML, CSS and JS, then this is not ideal. Only this much is not ideal for SPAs. You have to understand one framework, which is Angular. Okay. Now, what is a framework? Because many of you are beginners and you don't know the word meaning of framework. So what is it? See, framework is a basic structure. So let me give you an example. If you are in a home, then in home everything is structured, right? You know where is the kitchen, you know where is the bedroom, you know where is the hall room. If you want to cook something, obviously you will not go to bedroom, you will go to kitchen. If you want to sleep, you don't want to go to kitchen, you will go to bedroom. So everything is structured there, right? So a home is a framework. Just like that, Angular framework is a framework which is like a home in which everything is structured. That means some kind like this is done, something like this. So this portion is HTML, this portion is CSS, and this portion is JavaScript. This portion is TypeScript. Okay, everything is structured. They have structured in a very efficient way so that you will not get any problem, right? Learning Angular. So framework is a basic structure. It helps in easy development it provides basic configuration. So everything is very precise and developed already, right? Now, what is AngularJS? Again, these points we will look into it, but before that, let me see some comments. Okay, so hi Aminul, hello. Can you provide me React project lecture, sir, please? Okay, we'll look into it. Meanwhile, what you can do, Python CSE. Um, we have React.js live sessions and videos in YouTube channel. Go there and have a look what we have explained for React. Okay, so that you'll get a basic idea what is React.js. Okay, meanwhile you can do that. Sir, FPA stand for it stands for single page application. Guys, please give me more comments. And yes, if you're liking this session, then please hit like. And if you have not subscribed already to this great learning channel, please subscribe so that you will be notified about all the upcoming live sessions and upcoming videos. Okay. Also, if you're very much interested in Angular, I have already come up with a 10-hour tutorial in Angular 7. So please go and have a look what I've taught in this 10-hour tutorial of Angular 7. Okay, don't forget to hit like and subscribe the channel. Now, let's move to the what is AngularJS. Let's see what all pointers we have written here. Angular is an open source JavaScript framework. Yes, that means anybody can download. It is free, so anybody can download and use it. It is maintained by Google. Now you must be understanding why Gmail and YouTube is a single page application, because Gmail and YouTube is designed using Angular. Okay, and it is maintained by Google. It uses HTML syntax to express your application's component clearly. As I said that to learn Angular or AngularJS, you should know the HTML, CSS or JS because those are the prerequisites. So this point is also very important. Next, it is designed for web, desktop and mobile platforms. So I have told you Gmail you can open in mobile also. YouTube you can also open in mobile, right? So it is designed for web, desktop and mobile platforms. Completely written in TypeScript. Okay. Now, what is TypeScript? See, JavaScript and TypeScript, there is a similarity. Now, what is this similarity? Now, JavaScript is a super subset of TypeScript. That means first TypeScript came and then JavaScript. So TypeScript is nothing but the father of JavaScript. So people uses JavaScript to do to work with Angular. Okay. Next, it is primarily aimed to develop single page applications that we have already seen in a very descriptive manner. So let's move to features of AngularJS. See, I know that we are here to do more of practical, right? So yes, after this, we are going to do practical. I'm going to tell you how to actually install and run Angular CLI and how you can create a first project out of Angular. So stick to the video till the end. You will get to know that. Okay, let's move to features of AngularJS and let's see what are the features. I'm not going to discuss this in detail because this particular things, if I say in detail, you will not understand because these all features need a practical demonstration. So right now I'll be giving you a very summarized kind of explanation. But if you want to understand these all features in a very descriptive manner, I have already told you that a 10-hour tutorial is done by me. Go there and check it out. All the features are explained there in a very deep manner. Okay. Data binding. What is this? So from one web page to another web page, when you want to bind data, that means I want to show one data from one web page to another, I will use data binding. This is the most important property of Angular framework, which is used. When I'll create a first application today in this session, I'll be showing you where is data binding. Okay. So remember this word. Architecture. Remember MVC in agenda, I told you model view controller. That is the architecture which is the most important architecture when you're working with these kind of frameworks. Next is directives. See, these are some predefined directives. Like in programming language, we have main method, we have data types, integer, float. So something like that in Angular framework also we have directives. These are some commands which we can use directly to make our application, right? This is not browser specific. That means Angular framework, if you are designing any application, it will run in any browser. Does not depend which kind of browser you are using. Codeless. Now, remember I told you that Angular is a framework. That means already this Angular is developed using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So half of the thing already Angular is doing it for you. You have to just create your application, right? So when half of the thing is already done, that means half of the code is already done via Angular. That means Google. So you have to code less. Okay, you don't have to start from scratch. Like in HTML, we start from scratch. We're writing doctype HTML tag, then HTML tag, right? Here we don't do that. Okay. Hi. Hi, Chandresh Shamnani. Please provide advanced Java PHP tutorial also. Noted. We will see that. Asmat M, sir, can you explain what is the exact meaning of open source? Open source means that it is free, okay? It is free for all. There are some softwares or some IDs which are not free for all. There are some frameworks which is not free for all. You have to pay or you have to, take the subscriptions. But Angular is not as such. It is open source. Okay. Hello, Diksha. Now, next one. So speed and performance. Obviously, when it is single page application, I told you that in single page application speed will be really good, because in multiple page request, what is happening? Multiple page request is going to the server and coming back, which takes time. But in single page, that is not so, right? Dependency injection. This is one of the property which is related to the dependency injections. So this particular thing you will not understand now. When you will see the 10-hour tutorial, you will understand what is this. So please check it out. Deep linking, we use the routing. So these two things are related to each other, deep linking and routing. So when you move into one web page to another, like in YouTube, I showed you that when you click on trending, then it takes you to another web page, right? So using these deep linking and routing, we do that. Routing is nothing but routing to one web page to another, right? Productivity. I did not have to explain anything here, right? So let's move to the architecture, the model view controller, and understand what is this. Most of you will be thinking that is a very hard concept, but it is not. Let me take an example and explain you. Keep on putting the comments, guys. I want to read some comments, so please give on some comments. Let me see what all things you want from us, right? Okay, so I have used a basic example to explain you what is this MVC, okay, model view controller. So suppose that you go to a restaurant, okay, and obviously you will be a customer there, right? And then when you are sitting in a chair, obviously a waiter will come to you and will ask that what do you need. You will say, suppose I need a tea or a coffee. Then the waiter will go to the chef, and the waiter will tell to the chef that the customer wants a tea or a coffee, right? So the chef will use these ingredients to prepare the tea. Once the tea is prepared, it will give it to the waiter, and the waiter will then give it to the customer. And that is how it works, right? That is how the restaurant works, or that is how we actually go to the restaurant and order something, right? This is the process. Same thing happens in MVC architecture also. Now, please focus here that what is happening, communication is happening from all the sides, right? And customer is nothing but the main product, right? Because he is commanding and he is only getting the output, right? So when I talk about the MVC architecture, then customer is the view. View means whatever we can see in front of our eyes. That means whatever web page like youtube.com we are going to see in front of our eyes, that is what is view, right? Now, from YouTube only we request something, right? We request to whom? Controller, that is the waiter. This is the waiter. So the waiter is actually controlling everything, right? He's controlling you, that you are very comfortable in the restaurant, and he's also seeing that whether chef is preparing the tea or not, right? He's actually controlling everything. When it comes to model, model means the logic. The logic means the actual tea. Who is preparing it? The chef. The chef is preparing that model, the logic, the tea, right? Using what? Using the ingredients, right? And the ingredients are nothing but the data, right? So what is happening basically in this MVC? If you want to prepare a web page application, which is the view, you have to have a controller which will control your model and view. And model is nothing but the main logic which will be presented in the view, right? The chef is preparing the tea, and the tea is sipped by the customer, right? Same thing happens here. The chef is actually writing the logic, or the model is actually the logic, and this logic is getting inserted or incorporated into the view. That means my web page. This is what happens in model view controller. So view is the front look which we see the web page. Controller is behind, who controls everything. Model is the logic, the exact logic which we write to work my application. Correct? This is a explanation of MVC architecture. This is the architecture. So you can say I have not used any such big architecture diagrams and all. This is a very easy example if you want to understand. If you're a beginner, then this is the best explanation to get insight into what is MVC, right? Now, practical demonstration. So now we are into how we can start with environmental setups and what we have to download, what all things we have to actually see, right? Now, for installing Angular, you need two things, okay? You need Node.js and NPM, okay? Now, what is Node.js and what is NPM? We will see that. But before that, I will tell you that this is the link where you can get the Node.js download, okay? Download the latest version, and I will tell you that you have to only download Node.js. You don't have to download NPM because NPM comes with Node.js, okay? Let me show you where you will get it. So you don't have to do anything. You have to just write here Node.js download. Once you do that, the very first link you can see, and you have to just choose whatever operating system you have. Click on any of the 64-bit or 32-bit, whatever configuration you have in a system, download that. Okay. Now, how you will get a proof that it is downloaded and installed? So open command prompt, and in the command prompt, so this is the command prompt. If you guys don't know, this command prompt is nothing but the main heart and soul of a system. So here only we can do everything. If you want to check whether your software is installed or not, you can check it out here. Have a look what I'm doing. So I'm writing node minus v, okay? When I'm writing node minus v and hit enter, you can see it is telling me the version name, that which version I have. I hope you guys can see my command prompt. Okay, so I'm getting a version 14.15.4, which is the latest one. Let's see if I have the NPM also or not. Once you download Node.js, automatically NPM will be coming. So you can see for NPM also I am getting 6.14.10. That is also the latest version. That means I have Node.js and NPM download and installed in my system. Let's see what is next. So verify that you're running at least Node.js version 13.x or greater and NPM version 5.x or greater, which I showed you how to check using node minus v and npm minus v in a terminal console window, which is nothing but cmd. Right? Newer versions are fine, so you can download. Every month it comes, so you can check and do it. But the question is, to work with Angular, why do we need Node.js? Why is it so important? Please understand in a very better manner, okay? So I told you that Angular is a framework, and this framework is designed using so many other languages, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, right? Now, If you're working with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then it is fine because browser can easily understand what you're writing. But when you're writing commands in TypeScript, browser will not be able to understand that. When you're writing some codes in TypeScript, browser will not understand what you're writing. So Node.js is having a transpiler. Transpiler will convert your TypeScript into JavaScript, and thus this JavaScript code can be understood via your browser. So I hope now you understood what is the main point, that why do we need Node.js? Because it is using the transpiler to convert our TypeScript commands in JavaScript so that browser can understand that and my web page application will work in the browser. Right? I hope you have understood this. The next, what you have to do, we have to install our Angular, because now we have the Node.js and npm. So now we can install our Angular. Either you can click on this link or you can write this command in cmd. Okay, so this command is npm install -g at angular CLI. So you can do that and you can install your Angular. I've already done it. Let me show you what happens if I write it again. Okay, it's already there in my system, but still, let me show you what happens. npm install -g at the rate angular CLI. When I have typed, you can see something is happening. It's loading, it's downloading or installing something, right? It will take some time, and once it is done, let's see what it is saying. Okay, till then I can just read the comments. Guys, please hit like if you are liking this session, and please subscribe the channel. Okay, hi, everybody's saying this. Hello, hi Priyanka. Okay, Abhishek, suppose in Facebook like application, if there are 1 million of like in a post, can we use Angular to fetch all million likes in the front end from the post schema and then find the total like in Angular? Once again, Facebook application, if there are 1 million like, okay, can we use Angular to fetch all million likes in front end from the post schema? I think Facebook is doing that. So, but using Angular, I don't think it is very compatible. You can use other frameworks as well. You have Vue and React also. So I think that will be much easier for you to work with. Please explain again data binding and dependencies. As I said, data binding, I will show you right away when I'll create the first application. For dependencies, please watch the 10-hour tutorial. There is the whole 1 hour I have spent for explaining what is directive and dependencies. So check that out. Which version of Angular is this? Akshay, this is AngularJS. It is a normal one. This is the 1.x. So this is not that Angular 11 or Angular 10. I know Angular 10 and Angular 11 is there, but this is an introductory session for freshers. So we are doing it for AngularJS. Perfect. Now let's move. So you can see here this Angular CLI is downloaded. It was already there with me. So let's move. Let's see what are the Angular app fundamentals. Now, how do you start with your application, right? So again, let me go to my CMD and let me show you what we have to do here. If you can see, it's written here. Once Angular CLI is installed, create a new app. So we have to create a new app, but where? So I want to create a new app in my desktop. Okay, and I have to write a command to create the new application. So what I'll do here is I'll write here ng new and then the application name. So let's say my application name is first app. I'm just typing it random. So my first application name is first app. Once it entered, as you can see, it will take some time and create all the dependencies, and which will directly create a folder in your desktop with the name of first app. But it depends which Angular version have you downloaded. So you can see, I think I have downloaded the most latest one. So it is asking some commands. These questions are nothing but the CLI prompts. Okay, so these questions will be asked. You have to just press Y. That means you are saying yes. you can see the next thing it is saying, would you like to add Angular routing? That means, will I be using routing in my application? Yes, surely I will be using it. Which CSS you want to use? CSS, SCSS, SAS, less? Which one? I want to use CSS. So once you hit enter, it is downloading all my directives, my libraries, my packages, everything is getting downloaded, okay, and installed. So let's wait for some time and let the installation get completed. And later on, we will start our application. Yes. Why I'm saying that I'll start our application? Because Angular or Google always gives us the default application when you're starting your Angular application. So it gives us the first default application which you can run without even writing a single code. Okay, so you will see that I will not write any code, but still I will get a default application and my application name will be there in that web page. So I'll show you that. Let it install. Meanwhile, you can please give some comments. Okay, perfect. Let's wait and let's see what is happening after the installation. It will take a long time, so just wait. Meanwhile, let's see this particular slide. So you can say the same thing is given here, run command ng new. And once the application is created, go to the application folder. You have to go to the application folder. What is my application folder? It's first app, right? So I have to go to this particular folder and I have to run this command ng serve. Okay. And then I have to see my web page in this server, in this local host. So remember that all your Angular applications will be running in this particular port number, which is 4200. Okay, so I'll be showing that to you right away. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so this is installed now. You can see my packages are installed successfully. I have to go inside my folder. So I'm writing cd first app. I'm inside my folder now and I can now serve my application. That means I can run my default application of Angular. Once you click on ng serve, you hit enter. It'll ask some questions which is from CLI prompts. Just say why, wait for some time. It will say that your web application is serving in port number 4200. I'll take you to 4200 and we will see whether your application is there or not. In every programming language, you must be seeing that compilation happens, right? You can see our codes are getting compiled, right? Whatever code they have written by default, it is getting compiled. You'll ask me, sir, where is that code? Where is that application code? I'll show you, don't worry. I'll show you where is that code. Now, let's wait. Yeah, so you can see this is compiled successfully, right? And if you look at this statement, it's written Angular live development server is listening on localhost 4200. Open your browser on http localhost 4200. Let me copy this and let me go to my web browser and here I'm going to paste it. Once I hit enter, you can see I am getting first app is running. You will say, how come this application came here? I have not created any such application, right? That's the thing. You can see here, this particular whole thing is created by Google. Okay, Google developers have given us this default application so that you will understand how a single page application looks like. Okay, and you can see my project name is written here, right? Now how this is happening, let me show you. Okay, so let me go back to my command prompt. I'll do one thing. I'll close this and I will open it again. Okay, I'll go to my folder. So desktop, then I'll go to my first app and here what I will do, I want to see my code, right? So codes should be open in any ID or software IDs, right? So I have already downloaded Visual Studio Code. Okay, that's a very simple step to download Visual Studio Code. So I'll just write here. Let's say I'm writing code dot. When you write code space dot and you hit enter, this will directly open your Visual Studio Code. So you can see my Visual Studio Code is opened up. And if you remember, I have written this code inside my project folder, which is first tab, right? So here is my application in my Visual Studio Code. You can see first tab. When I go to source, when I open my app, you can see all my files are here. I told you Angular framework will have HTML, CSS, JavaScript and TypeScript. You can see it is having .html, it is having CSS, it is having TypeScript, and if you see here, it is having the heart and soul of the application, which is index.html. Okay, now let me tell you how this is working. You must have understood that in the app.component.html, you can see all these HTML codes are already written, and these HTML and CSS codes are nothing but presenting you this application. If you don't believe, have a look. So you can see here some headers and footers are given and the content is given, right? Have a look here. If you see here this Angular logo, right, then it's written here welcome, right? If I go back to my web page, you can see here it's Angular logo and there's a welcome. So it is a proof that this web page, the commands are written here only, right? Now I'll show you one thing, why this my project name is coming here. And other than that, everything is very perfect, right? So how this my project name is coming here, I'll show you. Have a look here. Can you see this? It's written app is running. App is running is constant, but title is in double curly brackets, right? This is what is called as data binding. So my data, which is my project name, is not written here. I have not written that here. What I'm doing, I'm taking that data from a different file and putting it here. Let me show you where is it. If you look here in app.component.ts, that means the TypeScript file, it's written here title equal to first tab. What is my title? My title is first tab, and that is what is coming here. So the data is coming from TypeScript to HTML. That is what is data binding. You are binding the data from one file to another file. That is what is data binding. I hope I covered your question, right? You have asked me, somebody has asked me, what is data binding, right? Now this data binding is very small thing, right? No. If you look in our 10-hour tutorial, you will understand that data binding is not a small thing. It's a very big concept and it's very fun. So that's why I'm always saying, go and check it out, the 10-hour tutorial. You'll understand in a more deeper manner. So keeping these all things aside, let's understand from starting how the flow is happening. So how come Angular is understanding that where I've written the code and where he has to go, what he has to execute, right? First of all, when you execute your application, Angular application in your server, it starts from main.ts. Okay, in main.ts, whatever code you have written, one code is there which says bootstrap module app module. That means this main.ts file is telling that you have to start booting the file app module. You have to start booting the file app module. So let's go to app module. From here directly it will go to app module. I'll go to app module. In app module, I have written some commands which is nothing but all the components, modules and all things I've written it here. Here also I'm bootstrapping one file. What I'm booting? I'm booting app component. Where is app component? Here is app component. Let's go to app component.ts. What is happening here? In this app.component.ts, I have mentioned, I've told to my application that you know what? My tag is app root. This is my parent tag. Okay, you can use this element anywhere. I have my HTML file which is app.component.html. So render it from here. I have my style URL which is app.component.cs. You can render it from there. So in app.component.html, we have written the whole code. So it is directly rendering from it there. And in app.component.cs also, if you will write some CSS, you'll write it here. but for now they have written the CSS in the HTML itself, as you can see. That's why in CSS it is empty. So basically in app.component.ts, you mention all your files, whatever you have in your framework, HTML, CSS, and the tag. Now what is this tag? What is this selector? Right? Let's come to index.html. Remember, what is a selector? A selector is app root. If you go to index.html, here some codes are written in HTML, and inside the body only one tag is used, which is app root, which is my selector. Right? Now you are not understanding what is happening here, right? Let me tell you. See, this app root is actually containing the HTML and the CSS, the whole thing. Yes, only one element, only one tag app root is containing the whole code which is written in HTML and the whole code which is written in CSS. So when you are writing app root here, the whole HTML and CSS file is getting rendered and coming here. Yes, that means whatever you're writing in app.component.html, the whole thing is getting inserted in this part. Okay, so it is making your life easy, right? How? Because everything is structured. You have your different HTML document, CSS document, TypeScript document. Everything is different. Everything is kept separately, right? And none of the code is very big. Everything is very small, right? That is why codeless, the feature, right? Remember? Now, when you're writing app root here, understand and focus. You will ask me, sir, in app.component.html, are we not writing doc type HTML, then head, then title and body? No, we are not writing that. Have a look. Where am I starting the, see, I'm starting the body here. Am I writing any doc type HTML or anything? Okay, let's move to the first. Am I writing any command like that? No. Instead, Google is already telling it to me that the content below is only a placeholder. It can be replaced. Delete the template below to get started with the project. You can delete everything and you can write whatever you want. Let's do that. So what I will do, I'll keep only this particular command here, which is this one, this span thing, and I will delete everything. I don't need it. This is the sample, right? This is default code. I don't need that. I did everything. My body and all, everything is written already, right? My body, the head, the title, everything is written in my index.html. So I don't have to write anything here. Correct? So this code is inside now in body. Let's save this. When you save it, let's run this. Okay, once again, I don't, yeah. So my server is running from here. I've stopped it. So I need to run it again. What I have to do, I have to go to my terminal inside Visual Studio. And here I have to write. So this is my terminal. I have to write here npm.start. Once you do npm start, your application will start serving. Okay, it will take some time to load and it will open your application, right? So let's see what happens now, because I've already removed everything from the HTML, right? So now you only have what? You only have this title app is running, correct? Let's see. It is already compiling. Like you can click on follow link. Once you click on that, the browser is opening, and what is written here? First app is running. Only that much. Everything, every CSS and all the HTML commands are gone because I've only written this much. Right? So I hope you understood that index.html, the all code is written here. Only this app root command is containing this HTML. Okay. So this is what the basic structure of Angular looks like. Let's come back to the PPT and let's see what happens in the project structure. This is what the structure I showed you. You have the CSS, HTML, the TypeScript files. What is spec.ts? Spec.ts is for testing. So this is not for your purpose. You can delete that file if you want. This is the root project folder. All components reside here. Next is the assets. In the assets folder, you will keep all your images, right? all your images which you want to use in your application. Then index.html and main.ts is the heart and soul of your application. That means it's the entry point of your application. This is from where the entry will happen. Like I told you how the flow will happen, right? First main.ts, then main.ts file is the entry point. It will bootstrap app.model.ts. Then app.model.ts, it will bootstrap the first component, which is app.component.ts. And in the app.component.ts, we have written the selector, which is the tag, and that tag will have HTML file and the CSS file, right? That is how this Angular works. I know at first it will look like a little bit tricky and a little bit hard, but it is not. Trust me, it is very easy to use. Once you will get a habit of it, using it, then nobody can stop you, right? So just for an example, Sheikh, I have just written here the bootstrap, how the bootstrap is happening from this command, and then the bootstrapping the app component, how it's happening from here. Okay. Now, which all companies are using AngularJS? So Gmail and YouTube I've already told you because those are from the Google. Flipkart is also using AngularJS. Upwork, if you don't know, it's a platform where you can do freelancing and all. And then PayPal, then Samsung, then Nike and Sony, HBO. Microsoft Office, that's a standalone application, but those people are also using AngularJS. These are some very famous companies which are using AngularJS till now. Okay, so AngularJS is not degraded or deprecated. No, it is still in market. The next point, which is advantage of AngularJS, we will go through it, but let me first read some comments because I have explained you the whole practical demonstration. You should understand. I should understand that whether you guys have, understood the practical things. Okay, so Akshay Kumar. So nowadays, no company is using AngularJS version 1, I guess. Can you please teach latest version of Angular? I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in that, including me. Thanks in advance. Yes, sure, Akshay. We will look into this because we consider for most of the beginners and freshers, they start from AngularJS. So that's why we took this session. But yes, we'll consider your point and we'll work into it. Sir, can we not use PyCharm and other IDE? We can use other IDEs, but not PyCharm. It's specifically meant for Python. So you can use Visual Studio or any other IDEs like Sublime or Atom, right? Those things you can use. How to only Visual Studio Code, Sudash? Not only Visual Studio Code. You can use any other software IDEs, but it's very easy to work with Visual Studio Code when you're working with these kind of frameworks because all the files are very sorted and kept on the left hand side. As you can see, I showed you. So it's very easy for you to work with it. How to connect XAMPP server to Python programming. So this session is only for AngularJS, but we will consider that comment and let's see if you're coming with any such videos where we can tell you or we can answer your question, Pawan. Then surely just wait for it. Perfect, guys. Please hit like and subscribe the channel. Let's move into the advantages of AngularJS and let's see what is this. As you have seen, like practical demonstration, I have explained you and we have seen how the files are kept, right? And how easy it is. So numbers of errors or issues will be minimal because all your files and folders and everything is kept not in one file, but in several other files and is very structured, right? So number of errors or issues will be minimal. Two-way binding. Remember the data binding concept which I told you that data can be rendered from one file to another. The same way how I showed you the HTML files are rendered from one to index.html. We used to write extra JS code to keep the data in HTML code and the data later in sync. Now Angular will do this automatically. I have shown you this. Routing. Moving from one view to another is pretty easy here as it will be single page application. Like in YouTube and in Gmail, we have to just click on that and the whole page will not load. Instead, only the data request will go and response will come back. It supports both unit testing and integration testing. So remember I told you that you can do testing also in using AngularJS, which is spec.ts file. So unit testing, integration testing also you can do. If you have a knowledge on testing, then perfect. Directives. So we use some directives like ngIf, ng for, and many other directives are there, ng switch, ng class. These are nothing but the libraries, right? These are the packages. So it provides its own libraries and directives, which makes it more easy to use and code, right? So if you want to learn more about directives, and some people also told me that please tell us more about dependencies, injections, and data binding, right? Again, I'm repeating, please go and check that out, the 10-hour tutorial of Angular. Have a look. It's a 10-hour tutorial. That means everything explained in a very detailed manner. If you look into it, it will be perfect for you to understand what are these features, right? Okay, so now we are in the end of the session. I hope you liked the session very much. So please don't forget to hit like, and please share it with all of your friends so that they can also gain knowledge. And also please subscribe the channel. So I'll meet you very soon and with a very new topic. So till then, bye bye. Take care.